And I have some huge news today. The last few weeks, we've had technical difficulties, and you guys have not gotten to see Hillary, but look at this. There she is, live and in person.
He's been so excited to do that big reveal and thinks it is just hilarious.
Well,
So
it's not
hope
hilarious.
people
It just
enjoyed
means that everyone's going to be much more involved in the video today instead of just listening to me ramble. They're all here for you.
whatever.
So, I went this morning skate skiing. So if there's anybody out there that has ever gone skate skiing, it's a form of cross country skiing. Please chime in. I need help. I play hockey, and the skate skiing is a little not true to what the name, because I think the skis need to be even shorter than they are, and a little skin on the bottom of them to get more push would be better. So what are your thoughts on that, Hillary?
I have never tried skate skiing. I've done cross country skiing, and I don't really know the difference. I will just let you have this and assume that you're right on the money, and the skis need to be completely redesigned. Um, but yeah, so I don't know. But cross country skiing I was really bad at it. Like I thought that I don't know. I'm just not used to it. I know that literally that's all you do, but I found it very difficult compared to downhill skiing. So I've been meaning to go try again, and maybe I'll try skate skiing this time. But yeah, that's all I got on the subject.
Yeah, it is hard. And when you're used to just hockey skates, when you've got what I know, when you have all that ski out in front of you and trying to pick it up, and I kept getting hung up, and it was not pretty. I
Is that
much
what you do
better.
when you skate ski? Like when you cross country ski, you just kind of shift. When you skate, are you actually doing like the skate motion?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
because
And
I can.
because we had people, of course, just blow right by us that were good at it, and
Oh,
they were just smooth and just cruising right along, and I'm, you know,
I actually think I
chopping
would be
away.
really good at that.
I think I could be too if I like I said, I just think the skis are too long, and I think maybe that's my $1 billion idea. I can design skis that are way shorter and a little wider, and that are more made for skating. So anyway, that was a little personal thing that has absolutely nothing to do with real estate, but I thought I would throw that in there. So if anybody's out there that knows more about it, feel free to chime in. Um, Hillary found some news articles that we were going to go over before we get to the questions about some local issues. And the first one is the headline is job openings will remain high until the labor force grows. So um, we've had a lot of people call us the last 6 months
Yeah.
wondering about jobs out here. And there's a lot of job. I mean, there's help wanted signs in every place around here. I think even the better jobs, some of the bigger trades like electricians, any of the, contractor type jobs, I think are pretty easy to get to, just because there's such a demand for building right now out here, and people are looking for help. So there is that.
Yep. The article basically says that they foresee this continuing for a little bit. Right now, we have about 40,000 job openings that they're having trouble filling. And I think that obviously the main reason is the pandemic, but it also said that Montana has always had a quit rate that's higher than the national average. And I also thought it was interesting. I've read that the unemployment rate here is actually not that low compared to other states, but I think people are seeing this everywhere. I mean, just help wanted signs, businesses having to change their hours because they're short staffed. But yeah, it looks like we're stuck with that for a little bit.
Yeah, 40,000 job openings. And then it said the people quitting jobs also increased. There were more than 15,000 people who quit their job in 2021 compared to about 5,000 who were laid off. So if you're looking for a job out here, there's plenty of them. It's just a
Yeah,
matter of
lots of
finding,
opportunities.
finding somewhere to live, I guess that's where we come into play. Um, so yeah, I have an upcoming video. I don't remember if I mentioned this previously on one of these lives, but it's pretty cool, and I was honored and shocked all at the same time. Someone from the state of Montana has been watching our videos, and they reached out, and it's actually the guy who is in charge of business development in Montana, and so I interviewed him last week, I believe, and I'm gonna release the video in a couple weeks. But yeah, he talked about what they do and what Montana offers for businesses and people moving over here with jobs. And one of the things that was pretty cool, and there's a little tease for the video when it comes out, but he'll go into it in more depth. But what they do is um, if you're say like an electrician or one of the trades people that requires a license, if you're in any different state, Montana will allow you to just show up, and you still have to get a Montana license. You have to pay the fee, whatever that is for whatever license, but you don't have to go through all the testing and redo everything in Montana. So I thought that was pretty cool. And, but yeah, he'll, I guess that little tease for the upcoming video, and, he'll go into more in depth on that. What were the other articles we had here? Oh, there there is here in Whitefish, there is a development that they're proposing right at the end of Big Mountain Road. If anybody that's been up here skiing is familiar with Whitefish, um, there's only one way up to the mountain from downtown Whitefish, and they're proposing this 300 house subdivision right at the base of it. And nobody in town, I mean, nobody in town
Gotten
wants this. Just
severe pushback. Like nobody,
yeah,
everybody's
and what? Yeah, well, for good reason, because the road already, like if it's a powder day or during the holidays or whatever at 4 o'clock when the mountain closes. So give it 30 minutes, 4:30, it's Wisconsin Avenue, and it's wall to wall cars, and it's bumper to bumper, and there's one stoplight over the bridge over the railroad tracks, and so I mean it backs up all the way basically back up towards Big Mountain, and if you now throw a housing development on that road with another 300 houses or 300 units. They're not all going to be homes. I saw Maria just asked. It's going to be townhouses and condos and workforce type housing in part of it as well, which again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just where they're putting it is the issue. And the big thing is if there's ever a fire like that one that was in California, that's not going to be good because there's no way out of there. So if the city doesn't stop that just for that reason alone, there's going to be a lot of backlash.
Yes. All I've seen, there have been petitions going around. I mean, people have been very vocal about fighting back against it. I know they had the fire department come out and they gave it like an F rating, like this is not safe. There's no way we could get everybody out if there was an emergency. But they're still talking about it. So
well, I had a long conversation with a gal last week because they had a big meeting last Tuesday night, I believe, and they kicked the can down the road one more month where they didn't make a decision. But I was talking to this gal who used to be, I think she was on the city council, so she knows how it all works. And basically, they long ago they zoned that area for that. So the problem, if it does pass, if it does get approved, it's because the developers didn't do anything illegal, or they're not asking for any weird changes. They're doing what it's zoned for. So I think what it's going to come down to is if they, if they were to deny it, they can get sued by the developer because, developer didn't do anything wrong. But what I was saying about the safety thing, I don't, again, if there's any lawyers out there, anybody that knows more about this than me, I would think the government's one job is to protect its people, whether it's the national government or the city government. And for that reason alone, with the fires, I don't know how you can approve that. And whenever all the people that are knowledgeable about fires say it's a horrible idea, so we have that going on here in Whitefish. And one other thing that we pulled up in 2 weeks is the Whitefish Winter Carnival. So if you're ever here or you're up here, it's kind of fun. They have a parade. They have all kinds of events. They have, I'm sure Hillary's going to do the pull or plunge. They cut a hole in the ice out in the lake and everyone jumps in.
Definitely.
So she'll be posting videos of that. So we'll put that up in a few weeks.
It can be a video.
Well, no, a video of you swimming.
Right. We'll make it into a video.
Yeah.
No, but if you guys aren't familiar with the Winter Carnival, it is just super fun, like old town tradition. They've got, like he said, a parade. There are lots of different, I don't know, they sprinkle activities throughout like the entire month. There's a disco party at one of the bars here, the Great Northern, every year that everybody goes to. It is just really festive and a good time. And so I love that about Whitefish. They have Yetis. They have guys that dress up in Yeti costumes and run around, and you don't know who they are. It's great.
And they're not just guys, I've heard.
Yeah, I actually know one of them, and I know you're right about that. Really branching out, bringing the female Yetis in.
There you go. So let's go to the questions now that we've rambled enough. Let me put these up. Our favorite name, Deep Fried Cherry Pie. There will not be a live stream during the Super Bowl.
We didn't even think of that, but we saw your question and decided on the spot that we won't do it.
Well, it doesn't. We're doing them every other week anyway, so it'll work out. This is the only bad week that there's a game going on right now. But again, all of you that are here must either not care or you really like us.
I didn't even know there was a game, I'll be honest.
Oh, what do you mean? I was going to have you break down the last game and how the Rams won it at the end.
Yeah, that would have been sad for everyone.
All right. Are you seeing any talk of more inventory properties with acres of 40 plus with streams, rivers, or lakes by itself for a nice higher end home on them? We don't hear talk of anything. A lot of people are just doing what they have to do, whether it's because they have to move or whether they want to cash in right now. But no, I don't hear any more talk. We have gotten a slight bump after the first of the year of new homes on the market. And it did seem like there was a little bit of a slowdown, and we got one of our guys actually got a house, which was very exciting. We've been looking around for a long time for him, and he kept losing out, and he finally got one. So everyone's excited. But as far as talk of more properties, no, but Ken, if you have not, let me put our stream up here. If you do not have a link to our MLS site, there it is at the bottom. Email us and we'll send it out, and you can follow along. And as soon as anything comes up, you will know about it as soon as we do, because that the MLS is in real time, and we don't see it any sooner than you if you have a link. So anybody that wants one, reach out and we will be happy to.
I would say also, if you're looking for something specific, the area that you're looking for, you want it to be, X size, or you want it to be on waterfront or whatever that might be. We can also set you up on a subscription, and that's through the MLS. But that way, if anything is listed that meets all of your requirements, you'll get an email like the second it's listed. We've been doing that for a lot of people, and it's really helpful, especially with how competitive it is. It's good to be the first person to get a notification, and then we can, take steps to go look at it for you or whatever that might be. So that's an option also. So you can just email us if you are interested in having us set that up.
That is all 100% correct. What do you all think of Black Diamond Mortgage and Whitefish? Are they a good lender to work with? Philip asked that question. Philip, I've worked with them a few times and they've been fine. I have nothing bad to say about them. We do work. We have a lender we work with quite a bit, named Natalie. If you go to our channel, and I've done a couple videos with her, she's at Bay Equity Mortgage. But yeah, Black Diamond, again, nothing bad to say about them. I just haven't, we do 90% of our deals with Natalie, so I have more experience with her and her company. So that is my 2 cents on Black Diamond Mortgage. And then advice for someone from Scotland wanting to move to Montana. Well, Hillary, why don't you take this one?
Well, that's sort of a tricky one. I think I would just say what we sort of say to everyone who's moving from another place, whether it's another state or another country, but to come visit first. I think that it's just been interesting seeing people who come here to look at houses and they've never been to the area. It's a lot easier when you have been here and you've driven around and got an idea of what it's actually like and what areas everybody has a spot where you drive through it and cross it off the list. Like, oh, no, this is not something that I'm interested in. So my advice, if you haven't been here already, definitely come and visit first. And then that can help narrow down your search and probably answer a lot of the questions that you have.
Yeah, and to throw in something else, whether you're moving from Scotland or anywhere, rentals are almost as hard to find, if not harder to find, than houses right now. So if you don't have something lined up and you're just planning on moving out here and just getting a place, you may want to do your homework and get something lined up, because it's tough to just show up right now. There's just a shortage with everything. They're building them as fast as they can. There's one of the articles we didn't discuss is they just approved another huge apartment complex in Kalispell, which again, they can't build enough right now. There's just nowhere for people to go. So that is our advice for people moving from Scotland or anywhere.
Yeah.
Here's another one from Ken. What about jobs for RNs? I believe those are also in demand too, Hillary. I've heard a couple people. We've had people call us saying that their wife, girlfriend, whatever, is moving out here because of that. So, I think there is a need for that as well.
I believe so also from, things that I've heard from people who are RNs that they're looking. So, yeah.
So Emily asked, any advice on buying foreclosures? Well, a little tip on foreclosures is you'll be lucky to find any right now. And the reason for that is, with our market being so strong, if you say you bought a house 4 years ago and you ran out of money and you quit making your house payments, and it you're kind of, it would be shocking if you can't at least get your money back if you put it on the market um, before it goes to foreclosure, because that kills your credit if it goes all the way to foreclosure. So the reason you're not seeing many foreclosures right now is because if people are in trouble and they lost their job, whatever the issue may be, um, it's I can't see a reason for a house being foreclosed upon unless there's a very strange situation. So um, I know that's really not telling you about how to buy one. Um, it's like anything on foreclosures. Uh, right now, there just aren't a lot. I'll give you a quick tip. If you do find one, be sure to do a very good inspection, because once it goes back to the bank, they have no idea what's going on in that house. And usually the homeowner isn't around. So the inspection is super important when you're buying a foreclosure. But with that being said, there just aren't many around. What is next? Here we go. When is the Barstool races, Joseph? They are on Super Bowl weekend. I looked it up here, February 11th, 12th, and 13th. And another fun winter thing. I don't have you gone to that, Hillary?
I haven't, but I really want to.
Yeah, it's quite the event up in the canyon, and quite a group of people up there, and yeah, it's craziness. Is
I'm
going.
looking at the schedule of events and it looks
Why don't you read a couple of those?
well. We've got arm wrestling, the Barstool ski races. Uh, there's something that just says mountain men. I'm not sure what it is, but I just see some men in some costumes, it looks like. And then, co-ed leg wrestling.
That was the one I was going to point out. That's
Um,
quite the. I'm
the
surprised
mountain
that's not.
man competition.
What's that?
The mountain man competition. So I guess it's some sort of pageant.
I think it involves axe throwing and
Okay.
things like that. The
Yeah.
co-ed leg wrestling, I'm surprised that's not an Olympic sport yet.
Oh yeah, this looks great.
They also have a beer pong tournament. Yeah, so there you go. If you're looking for something to do up here on the 11th,
Bingo.
12th,
I love bingo.
and 13th, the Barstool races are something you will never forget.
Mark your calendars.
Yeah. maybe we should do our live feed from there live.
We should.
I don't know if they have good internet right there in Martin City. Letitia Garcia, we are building a home near the $3 bridge. My question is, during the winter, what do we do with household garbage until we can get it and take it to the landfill? That could be 2 months. I keep it away from luckily there's no bears around right now, but there are other animals. If you have a shed, or they usually, I'm not sure where exactly you're talking about, but there's usually in our county, out in the outskirts, they have fenced off areas where they have a whole bunch of dumpsters where the landfill, the dump comes and picks things up with the garbage trucks. And so that's what people do around here. So other than MSView vibes, why does everyone from LA want to move to Bozeman? I think it's because two things. Bozeman has done a good job of um, attracting new tech companies, and it's kind of getting the startup, all the kind of like Austin, Texas, but not nearly to that extent. But there is a lot of computer type jobs there now. And the Big Sky Ski Resort is huge, and it's kind of the, cool place to go. Kind of a lot of celebrities, and it's a big area, and so that's, I think, if I have to break down why people from LA are headed there, I think that would be my reason. Do you have any guesses, Hillary?
No, I guess it would just be probably the Big Sky thing because that's where celebrity started going, and then I feel like Montana's obviously just caught on and gotten popular with everybody after and during the pandemic. So LA people probably just, go where they see Haley Bieber and Justin Timberlake and John Mayer going. I mean, I don't know. That's where I would go if I was from LA and I didn't know anything about Montana. Bozeman's like the spot.
Well, now with your Yellowstone video doing so well, you're kind of a celebrity yourself. So will you be moving down there soon?
I will not. No.
Well, that's good news for all of your fans out there. Lynn Bartley, small farm for a horse or two, best search engine. Well, you're looking at it at the bottom of the screen. Or send us an email. We'll send you a link to that, to our MLS. It's way better than any of the national ones because it's updated in real time. And
It's updated by the real estate agents. So, Zillow and all these other sites are just pulling from the MLS. I mean, everything comes from the MLS. So that's just the original spot that's updated by us in real time.
yep.
You
Here's a
missed
good question, Hillary. What were you going to say?
you missed a question, but we'll go back to it.
Oh, Mike wants to know, why do homes go for $750,000 in the middle of Montana? Well, a couple reasons. A, everyone's trying to escape the big city. And B, we have no inventory. It's simple supply and demand.
And yeah, it it is wild. I say it every time we work with a lot of buyers, and I am always just shocked at how expensive things are and how, I mean, people are fighting over them. I mean, it's not like they're just listed for this insane amount and then nobody's interested. They have people like 20 offers with people willing to pay over that. So, yeah, just supply and demand. Everybody wants to be here, and there are just not that many homes available.
Yep. Go ahead. Throw the other, whatever question we missed. I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Oh, I know every place has its own rules, but are there counties with no building codes? I don't know the rule or the answer to that. I know our county, Flathead County, there are codes. But when you're out, there's another question coming up here too, down a little lower. I will throw it up right here. How restrictive are building codes and laws in Montana? This ties into that last question, obviously. It just depends on the county. I've been told, I've been here so long that I forget what other places are like, but I've been told that our codes here are very lenient, not strict at all. I know that in our county, when you're building something, you'll have to get an inspection on electrical and plumbing. Um, the rest of it, there's a lot of people that build their own places here, and so yeah, I've been told they're pretty easy around here. So I hope that answers your question. And then obviously it depends on the town. If you're in a town or if you're out in the county, and it depends on each individual county. So I can't give you a single answer for that. Robbie. I personally like the idea of building a barn dominium, but my wife has reservations about them. Are there any contractors that specialize in them? You know what? There are not, that I know of. I have not heard of anybody doing or specializing in that. And in fact, I have not. Montana is always a few years behind the rest of the country with everything.
Yes.
Um, so they aren't really a thing up here yet. And again, I know the barn dominium means a lot of different things. So, what the magazine articles and articles I've read about them, I haven't seen anything like that around here. But if you're just talking, an apartment in the top floor of a building, that's one thing. But no, Robbie, the answer is I do not know of any.
I second that. It's so funny. I feel like I hear talk of barn dominiums just like on the internet, and I think a few people have asked us about them, but they are definitely not a thing here. We are behind, although I know that they're sort of like trendy right now, but not here.
All right, here's one. I'll let you take this one.
Yep.
That's all you got?
I mean, I don't want to say mean things about people.
All right.
I'm assuming he's talking about Californians.
Well, just pretty plastic people.
Yeah. I've got the vision. I know who you're talking about.
Let's see. Seems cheaper, more convenient to fly from Bozeman. Oh, people are giving more reasons that people are going to Bozeman. Yeah, the airport in Bozeman is the biggest one in Montana, and there are more options out of the Bozeman airport than any other airport in Montana. But the one here is very close behind. They've added tons of flights, and you can kind of get wherever you want to go from here. So. Let's see. Is there a history of landslides or avalanche type of situations around the areas where possible? Yeah, I mean, there are avalanches here. Seems like every year somebody unfortunately gets killed in an avalanche on their snowmobile usually. At the ski resort, you don't hear many avalanches, but there are occasionally, but yeah, we get avalanche warnings here if you're out in the backcountry and you need to keep an eye out or know what you're doing, and stay out of trouble. As far as landslides go, no, there's a down by Yellowstone. I don't know if you've spent much time down there or not, Hillary, but there's a place called Earthquake Lake, and there was a huge earthquake. I think it was in the 60s or maybe late 50s. It was a while ago. And there was a huge landslide and it covered up a campground, and not good, but they get a lot more earthquakes down there because of the whole Yellowstone and the super volcano and all of that. So is there a buffer or restriction on how many people are allowed to move into the Flathead Valley? Well, Joseph, there is not. It's still a free country, and people can do what they want to do. I don't foresee there ever being that. What's restricting people now is just the lack of places to buy. So there you go. Did we go past any others? Okay.
Yes, they are, because I am from the Midwest. I'm from Nebraska. I think that they are friendly, although I actually have a couple stories. I think that before I moved here, I was very nervous because everybody tells you that, we hate outsiders and transplants, and we're very protective of having whitefish as our own. So I was scared, but no, it was totally fine. Everybody's very welcoming. I love it here. I did notice I've gotten like a few notes on my car for parking in a neighborhood, like on the street where you're allowed to park. And that was right when I moved here, and people wrote some mean notes because I still had my Midwest plates. And so I'm assuming that's why they did.
You don't think it was because of the way you parked?
No, it was. I really did not do. It was not about that.
I mean, if I had to guess.
I know, but it really wasn't. It was just mean. But that's the only thing that happened that made me feel like I wasn't welcome. I mean, if you meet somebody and tell you where you're, or tell them where you're from, they're gonna be, happy to meet you and ask why you came here and all that. So yes, I'm from the Midwest. I find it very welcoming and I love it here. So that's my answer.
All right. Here's one. Let me look it up. What is your temperature right now? Well, this morning when I was skiing, it was 20. Right now it's 26. So there you go.
There you go.
Let's see. There's a follow-up to the, oops.
Oh, sorry.
There's a follow-up to what you were answering earlier.
Well, I'm just picturing like, a stereotypical woman that you would think being from LA with like fillers and lip injections and
Botox?
plastic surgery, Botox.
Here's a good one. K-Dub. Any idea how reliable FEMA's flood map is for Montana home residential addresses? Well, actually, it is pretty good. And unfortunately, whether it's good or not, if you're trying to get insurance here, they go off of that. So if you're trying to buy a place in the 50-year floodplain or close to a river, they're going to go off of that map for insurance. So it doesn't matter, whether it's good or not. But what I've seen is it's pretty accurate around here. In the few places I've sold that was an issue, we had to pull up that map and look at it. Yeah, it's not bad. Here's one for you, Hillary. Read the question, because I've had people comment that they want us to read the questions because they listen to this in the car.
All right, Hillary, I had the same experience when I briefly moved to Bozeman with out-of-state plates back in the 90s. People would roll down their windows and tell me to go back where I came from. That would have honestly made me cry. I don't think I could have dealt with that. It would have put me over the edge. But yeah, I have since gotten Montana plates, but I had a few experience where I got some mean notes on my car. So yeah, that was unfortunate. But overall, I would hope that would not be somebody's experience moving here. Ugh.
And here's a follow-up from Mike. Isn't this bankster control? How can there be that much open space and trees to cut down for home prices to be this way? Again, Mike, it's your high school economics class, the first day. It's supply and demand. There was such a, and I'm not defending banks, I'm not defending anybody. It's just, it is what it is. There has been such a demand, or such a rush of people ever since COVID hit, to come up here and get out of the cities for whatever reason. Everybody, the show Yellowstone, that has been another huge, whether people want to admit that or not. I mean, people watch that on TV and I want to move to Montana because it looks cool. And so it's been the perfect storm over the past 2 years. And there's no supply, but there's huge demand. So that's why the prices are the way they are. And like I said earlier, they're building stuff as fast as they can. But it's just, nobody saw this coming 2 years ago. Otherwise, there would have been building going on 3 years ago. So
someone earlier asked if we see stuff come on the market in the $500 to $600 range.
600,000, you mean?
Yes. Well, yeah. And I keep forgetting to go back to it, but just playing off of this, since we're talking about pricing, yes, we do see that. I think that those are actually kind of common prices that we see. The problem is that if it's listed for 500,000, you're going to get 10 offers, and so it probably won't sell for 500,000. It's going to go up, but we do see homes listed in that range.
Well, deep fried cherry pie came through again with another
Oh my.
donation. Thank you very much. That is awesome. Um, you're great. We enjoy having you on every week. You always have good questions. So thank you again. That is much appreciated. And um, yeah, that's awesome. So let's go. Here's a good one. I'm looking for an RV lot in Montana to buy. Do I know of any? I do not at the moment, but I have seen over the past year or so, a couple of them have come and gone. So if you want to reach out down below, send us an email, uh, give us your contact information, obviously, with your email. And when I hear of something, we will definitely reach out and let you know. So, Ken, kind of tagging off of what we were just talking about, our appraisals holding up for the homes as the prices increases. Yes. It's interesting about appraisals, and I've kind of gone on this rant before, but the definition of what something is worth or the value of something is what somebody will pay for it. So the thing that I don't like about appraisers, and I don't know if everybody is aware of this, but when there's a contract on a house, the appraiser actually gets the contract. They see what someone has offered on it. So if you guys have ever been involved buying your own houses and it's like, oh, the appraisal came in right at the list price, right at what we offered. Well, shockingly, it's because they knew, right when I first got in this business, I used to be amazed at how good these appraisers were because they were always nailing it. And then I found out, well, they have the contract. So um, that part I've never understood. Um, and so I guess what I'm getting at, Ken, Hillary can verify I start rambling a lot, but uh, you don't have to be that agreeable. They, you know, because someone offered 500,000 for the house, well, isn't it technically worth now 500,000 because someone's willing to pay that? But I will say that my wife Angie had a deal a few weeks ago where the appraisal actually came in under what it was worth. So yeah, I mean, in this market, we're seeing a lot of people that own stuff and they're like, oh, I'm going to win the lottery and make $1 million on my $300,000 house. Um, so we are seeing some people that are trying to do that, and it's not that crazy that you can ask any amount of money for your house. And then apparently, obviously that one appraisal came in low, so someone else thought that it wasn't worth what they were offering. Here we go. What if I told you that the best snow shovel in Montana was from Florida? Would you believe me? I would, and I would be happy to invite you over to my house because I hate shoveling snow.
I
So,
was just going to say the same thing. It hurts my back so badly.
well, and we have a metal roof, and it's again the design thing. So the snow will slide off of it, and it comes down right above our porch. So I have to shovel more than most people because every time the snow slides off our roof, it piles up on our front steps. So
Oh,
annoying. Um, we had a guy put those snow blocks up this summer, and I don't know what happened. He used the wrong glue or whatever. I thought they would screw them into the roof, but they didn't because the very first snow, I went out there all excited, like, oh, this is gonna be great. I won't have to shovel the porch. Well, all that glue got hard and brittle from the cold, and the snow slid down and just knocked them all off. So not only did I have a pile of snow on the front, I had a whole bunch of these snow breaks laying there too. So I
yeah,
guess
I can convince myself that it's fun sometimes. Like, I really love mowing the lawn. That's a chore that I'm all about, and I think is just great. But oh god, yeah, snuffling show, and especially the last like 2 weeks ago, we had a week where it just did not stop snowing. So I'd go out and feel really accomplished, and then like 2 hours later, it looked like I hadn't even done anything, and it was extremely frustrating and causes my body pain.
There you go. Let's see. Here's your friend Elizabeth again. I can only imagine how upset some locals in Bozeman are now because they were so upset about out-of-staters way back when there were much less people actually moving there. Yeah. In fact, did you see that thing on online this week, that billboard that somebody put up in Bozeman?
Make Bozeman, Montana again? Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I think that it is just such an easy thing to blame. I don't know. We had a couple things come up this week, just like crime related, and you see all these people up in arms on Facebook about how it's because there are so many out of staters, and then you read that the people involved were like born and raised here, so it had nothing to do with that. I just think that, yeah, I mean, it is making people angry.
Yep. Let's see. Lori, are there homeless camps in the Flathead Valley area? Are drugs a problem there? Um, I don't know of any homeless camps.
I don't
Uh,
either.
there's a lot of shelters around Kalispell. Um, but occasionally in the summer you'll hear of some people
Oh, in the
camp.
summer we get people coming in on the train.
Yeah,
We call them train kids, and so in the summer you will see. I don't know if they're actually homeless, but
kind of. They live on a train.
yeah, they don't live here, and I don't think they stay anywhere when they're here. So, like, there was last summer, I think there was a train kid that posted up outside of our office, and he was just always playing the flute. And yeah, but other than that, no. And drug problems, I would say it's the same as everywhere. I don't think that we have like a significantly terrible drug problem in the Flathead Valley, but I don't know. Maybe I'm out of touch. I mean,
Yeah. No, well, I agree. I agree. Let's see. Someone's telling me I need a snowblower. Here's why it won't work. We have 4 concrete steps and a little landing right out our front door, and the snow lands right on top of there. So a snowblower is going to go up to that point, but I still have to shovel it by hand. So every time Hillary turns me down to come over and shovel it, so it ends up being me.
yeah.
So let's see. Um, I don't know if you've answered this already. Is it possible to live a middle class life in Montana, or are things so expensive nowadays? There's still affordable places. Yes, everybody hears about the whitefish and Bozeman, and you know, but there are still a lot of smaller towns around Montana where people aren't paying stupid amounts of money for houses. Um, so yeah, I would say yes. It just depends, where you want to live or don't want to live. So let's see. Thank you, Hillary. I have always paid 10% over and I'm a very impatient buyer, but I want the seller to answer me quick. I'm not sure what he's referring to.
It must be a response from something that we were talking about.
What else? Letitia, we have 40 acres in the Madison River Valley. Would it be advisable to sell 20 and be able to afford to build a bigger house, or should we keep all of our acreage? Ah, that, it depends what you want to do. If you want a bigger house, sure. I guess the first thing I would check and make sure you can split it. Um, what we see a lot of around here is that the zoning that we have won't, it may be zoned where you can't split it up. It's got to stay at 40 acres. So I would definitely check on that first. And then, but yeah, down in the Madison River Valley, you'll definitely make a ton of money on 20 acres down there, because that is, you are, in the Bozeman area, that's where everybody wants to be, and everyone's paying top dollar. That's the most expensive part of the state right now. So um, you can, you will definitely get some money to build a bigger house if that's what you decide to do. And if that is what you decide to do, we would be happy to help you. That's needless to say. So reach out and let us know what we can do to help. Here's a great question from Lori. Do cash buyers always have the advantage? Unfortunately, yes. And here's why. Because, at the end of the day, whether you're financing a house or paying cash for it, the seller is going to end up with cash, whether it's from the bank or from somebody with their own cash. They're getting money. The reason cash buyers have the advantage is back to the appraisals that we talked about earlier. If you offer, the guy that we've been working with, we mentioned him earlier, that I don't know how many offers he made on different houses, but he finally got one. He was financing a house, and the problem he would run into is he'd go up against a cash buyer, even though he was offering way over what they were asking. If you're the seller, you have to be wary of that, taking the financed offer because of the appraisal. Because when a bank is financing a house, they're always going to do appraisals. They're not going to skip that, because they've got to cover their own backside and make sure that they're lending money on something they'll be able to get their money back out of if they have to. So the reason cash buyers have that advantage is mainly for the appraisal thing. Secondly, they can close a lot quicker because it's cash than a lender can. A lender's usually, the quickest they can close is 30 days. I've seen some a little sooner than that, but normally it's 30 to 45 days. A cash guy can close in a week if he wants to. So that's why they have a big advantage. So let's see. How about land? Do you have any recommendations on town where land is less than $30,000? Well, how much land?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what I guess my suggestion, email us at the Team Montana Life down below. We'll send you the link. You can, covers all of Western Montana, big towns, little towns, every town. You can see what's out there and what everything costs. Let's see. It's looking like I think we covered most questions that I see. I mean, some of them were kind of along the same lines as one that we answered. So, do you have any final things, Hillary?
I do not. Do you?
Here's one last one. Kevin, how's the market south of Missoula and Victor, Stevensville? That is very busy, because that's the Bitterroot Valley, and the show Yellowstone has kind of made everybody want to move to the Bitterroot Valley. So there are, properties available down there, but they're pretty, they can be expensive. And but again, reach out. We'll send you the link. It covers the Bitterroot Valley. And so I think with that, we are going to take off.
Thank you for watching our video. Please call, text, or email for more information. And don't forget to watch our other videos about Montana.